The Circus Dream. I want to tell you the story this evening, said Daddy, of a little boy named Jairiel. Jairiel was as nice a little boy as anyone could ever hope to see. Everyone liked him, and he liked people too. But the thing he loved above everything else in the world was the circus. He loved the sound of the train whistle which brought the circus to town, and he loved the old circus which used to travel by the road and not come by the train at all. He loved the circus band, the clowns, the animals. He loved the very tent itself, the smell of peanuts, the roars of the lions, the beautiful ladies who rode the beautiful horses. He loved the performers, and every time he went to a circus he wished his eyes were bigger so he could see more, and he wished that circus people didn't have to go to sleep at all. He used to follow the circus parade as it came through the town, and he didn't mind if it was always late, for he could go to the circus grounds with some of the other boys and see them unpack, and maybe he could sometimes help a little, too. Once, he had been allowed to stand in the middle of the sawdust-covered ring when they were fixing up the tent. That had been a great moment. There was only one thing about Circus Day which ever made him sad. That was that sometimes people couldn't afford to go to the circus. He had been very lucky. He was always able to do chores for his mother and daddy around circus time, and he could make enough money for a ticket. But there were some little boys and girls who couldn't do that, or whose mothers and daddies couldn't afford to do that for them. If I ever get to be a big man, said little Jairiel, I'm going to take just as many children to the circus with me as I can. Little Jairiel called it his circus dream. And sometimes he would really dream that he was taking hundreds and hundreds of little boys and girls whose faces had been sad and teary because they hadn't thought they were going to the circus. He had dreamed of how they would follow after him and would say, "Me too." And he would smile at them and say, "Yes, all of you." It was a beautiful dream. Now there are many people who dream of doing something fine when they have more money or when they're grown up, and who forget it when that time comes. They will excuse themselves by saying, "Yes, I have more money than I used to have, but I find I need it all, instead of doing more than they had been able to do before. There are little boys who say, when I grow up I'm going to see that poor children get ice cream once in a while. But when they grow up they forget and they don't realize that there are lots of children in hospitals and in homes who very seldom receive visits from the ice cream man. Now Jairiel was different. He remembered. When he grew up he went into the circus business. He was the one who would tell the newspapers in the different towns in advance when the circus was coming to town so everyone could look forward to it. And he remembered his circus dream. So every year when the circus came to the very biggest city they visited, grown-up Jairiel arranged that every child in every hospital or home or any child who was crippled and not as fortunate as other children should come to the circus free. They arranged one afternoon when no one need buy a ticket but when every seat was free. And yet, that wasn't enough for Jairiel. When the hospitals and homes sent in their lists of the numbers of children who would be able to go to the circus, the lists grew so long that the place wouldn't hold them all. Do you suppose Jairiel said, "Sorry, but we've room for no more"? Not a bit of it. He had another circus party for those who couldn't come to the first. And Jairiel's face was full of smiles as he looked at the thousands of children who were shrieking with joy over the circus, and he said, "My dream has come true." But, ended Daddy, Jairiel is one of those people who help to make dreams come true.